This is my current pedal board. There's nothing inherently wrong with it. On its own, it does exactly what it's designed to do, but it's only when you start gigging with it and using it that you start to discover one awful flaw. It's cool, fits my needs, nice and small, great, but every time that I go and reach for this thing and get it out of the bag, I lift it up and you can see what happens. Obviously, that's not good for your cables. Obviously, it's not good for the pedal. You get glue everywhere, then you go and you put it back, and then, you know, you're in the middle of the gig and you go to step on the pedal and it slides forward. So I am happy to get rid of this Velcro mess. So originally, Acclaim guitars, I'm pretty sure that's how you say that, I'm not 100% certain. So Acclaim reached out to me and they wanted me to talk about the woman tone pedal, and honestly, I didn't have a use for it, but my pedal board kind of sucks. I wanted to see if I could try something totally different. I kind of was always stuck in the pedal train world and I wanted to venture out and try something different. And I saw on Acclaim's website that they make their own kind of ecosystem for pedals and pedal boards, so I gave it a shot. I asked them, hey, well, I'd be happy to try out the other pedal board system, and gratefully and thankfully they said sure. So let's build the pedal board. Now, I think one thing that's really important to highlight is this little tiny thing. This is their fast fastener. It's hard to say, but fast fastener. And basically the way it works is there's this little tiny mechanism. When you turn it, it'll lock into a groove. And then what you do is you take the top side, the fastener portion, flip it down, and then your pedal is now locked in place so long as you've kind of wedged it up against the edge there. That's how this system pretty much works. And I gotta say, it's like so ingenious and simple, and it's a little finicky at first once you get the hang of like how to actually put this in place. But the brilliant thing is you don't have to deal with any more Velcro. And then they got a couple other things too. They've got like these little tiny clips, probably again quite small, hard to see. They've got these little tiny clips here that you can route your cables through and direct your cables through on the pedal board. And they got another one, I've used them all right now. It's just clips on and kind of hides the cables. You can run the cables underneath for a totally flat surface. So the layout configuration is quite a bit more efficient. There's a little bit more room for these pedals on this board versus this one. And as a result, my cables look a little funky now. This one doesn't quite reach, and then this one, it's gonna look a little funky once that's in there as well. So can't have that, so we might as well do some custom cables here as well. When I first got the pedal board out and I started toying around with it, it takes a little bit of getting used to. You kind of have to really think about where you place your pedals, since you know, these guys take up so much extra space. But I think one thing that they already plan for in the size of their pedal boards is that extra space that you need. They had sent me out one of their smaller pedal boards, and it was everything that I needed for my pedal board, which is already really small. So now to mount a power supply, they give you this thing. This is like their generic power supply mount. And basically from underneath the pedal board, you would tighten this up. And as you tighten it, it would start to clamp down on your power supply. I couldn't use this with my power supply, so I had to use their different power supply mount. And that was still a bit finicky with my power supply just because of where I had to place it, which also was kind of a weird thing about this mount. I understand why they put this the way that they did, but these little edges kind of made it more difficult once you factored in the actual cables themselves coming out the front. So like as I slid this around, it would hit here. So I couldn't really mount this directly in the center. I could probably have mounted it over here, but anyways. And then the final thing is turn it on. Test her up, make sure it's all working. All right, we got power there, and it's letting you know there's no transmitter on. Sky power on, line 6 power's on. First shot, the cables work. That's a huge plus. That was the easiest cable making experience of all time, but so it's all wired up. It's working. Hallelujah. final thing to really talk about is the bag. And I mean, what can you say about a bag? I mean, honestly, it's nice. I mean, it's high quality. The zipper's high quality. And they give you a good bit of space to put your stuff when you're going in and out of the gig. Obviously, I'm going to be bringing my wireless along with me, right? Probably have it unplugged. I don't like to travel with it plugged in. You got a backup cable here. You got the USB for the HX Stomp. And let's throw this guy in there. Probably could throw some picks or guitar strings if you needed to. I'm one of those weirdos that likes to leave the power cable in the same spot as the pedal board itself. There you go. There you go. And there's plenty of room inside of this guy. You could store more cables if need be. But overall, nice and tidy. Like I said, heavy duty zipper. Fresh zipper. Gotta wear that bad boy in. So there you go. What do you guys think? So I really like these. I like these little tiny cable routers, and I like the little cable hiders. They come in really handy, especially underneath the pedal board where you can kind of route and manipulate your power cables without having to use any zip ties or do anything crazy. Now these particular guys only snap in one way. It's either flat this way or 90 degrees flat this way. So you're probably initially wondering, well, hey, I've got a round pedal or I've got a really odd shaped pedal. That's not gonna work, right? You'd be correct. They do make a fastener that can go in any direction, which is kind of cool. My next thought on this whole system is that I don't know that they do a good job of explaining what the system actually is. When you scour their website and you start to see all these little accessories and things that you can build for your pedal board, you start to get the sense that the whole thing is about a custom pedal board experience. And that's what I learned. That's when I actually was like, oh, this is bad. So the particular pedal board that they sent me, I can buy an attachment and buy a second version of it later on down the road, and then I can build a bigger pedal board directly from the pedal board that I already have. I don't have to go out and just buy a second pedal board altogether. The next thing that I thought was really cool is they have risers. You can get risers, add that attachment. So the whole system is really about making it your own, which brings me back to this power supply thing. I really was a bit disappointed with this universal power supply mount. I know I was actually thinking on the website when I looked at it that this was going to be the best one for me, and it definitely was not. If they could kind of redesign this or reconfigure this a bit better, I really think that that's the only thing that's kind of missing in this particular device. And the only other thing that I kind of was like, all right, whatever, is the length, the height of these screws. Now, again, I had to keep in mind, like, the whole thing's about having a custom experience for your own pedal board. Like, you make it exactly what you want it, which is great. But that just means you need to put in a little extra work at home. So, you know, if this screw's too long, put it together, find out how much you need to snip off, and then just, you know, saw it down. That's straight up 100% what I'm gonna do so that I can get the angle of the pedal board where I want it. That was kind of where that all came from. Another side note, those cables that I built for this board, that was the easiest thing I've ever done in my life. I snipped it, I shoved it in, I screwed it together, and it worked first try. That was a really delightful surprise. At the end of the day, there are no perfect solutions. There's just perfect solutions for you. If you guys are tired of Velcro like I am, go check out Acclaim's website. There's a link in the description to check out exactly this pedal board system. If there's something I left out in this video and you still have a question on it, I'd be happy to answer it. And leave some comments below. Let Acclaim know, because they're gonna look at this video. Let Acclaim know what you guys think of the pedal board system, what you think could be improved upon, if any. Let them know what you love about it. Again, go check them out at their website. Links in the description. If you want to spend one-on-one time with me, you guys know where to do it. Go to thestevekinney.com. I'd be happy to spend time with you guys for all things Luna, UAD, audio production, and I guess pedal boards now too. So cheers guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next video.